Okay, hi, we are back again, and now that we've downloaded Kaltura onto the machine, it's time to go ahead and figure out how to use it. So the first thing we need to do is figure out how to find it and get it running. You have a couple of options. One is if you've got a Mac, you go to the launch pad and you'll find the app right there amongst all your other 8 million apps. Or you can get the program the same way that we downloaded it via Canvas, so via one of our classes. So if you open up a course, this is the same one that I had open before, so I know that my media is available here in this menu. Click on that. And then if you select Add New Media, and again, Kaltura Capture, now the program is there. Right, and so come up, and this right here is basically, I guess you could call it the control panel for Kaltura. So how about if I minimize Canvas here, and so now we can see that Kaltura is set to record. You have a couple of choices you can make. One is you could record without any audio and just record your screen and then add an audio track later, maybe. I don't personally see the point of that, but I guess there are some use cases where that makes sense. The other choice, you will notice that this camera here is off. There's a very good reason for that. I will turn it on briefly and show you like right about now. So here, as you can see, not the most professional setup for my video recordings. My home office is literally in my pantry. So we don't do these with cameras. All right, but what we do use in terms of a choice is the screen options. Screen options, you can either record full screen or a select area of your screen. If you have a second monitor, it'll give you choices as to which monitors you want to record off of. Right now I don't have a second monitor running. Quite often I do. So what I'm going to do is show you I'm going to demonstrate how to use Kaltura in recording full screen. We'll make a very brief Kaltura video, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's first uploaded. Because you might be surprised at what you see. And then I will do a couple of use cases with partial screen area recordings. So if we want to make a full screen recording, we need to get ourselves together first and pull up what we were planning on showing. In this case, PowerPoint as a lecture, and I'm going to get it up like that, and then when I hit the red button over here, that starts a countdown. When the countdown starts, I'm going to hit the full screen here, and I'm going to start at the beginning, get myself together, and so hit go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the Kaltura recording functionality, and then I'm going to just speak to this lecture, for just a couple of not even a couple of minutes, maybe 1 minute, so you can kind of see what it looks like to record in Kaltura. And then we're going to stop it, and I'm going to show you how this goes when you go to upload it into Canvas. Okay, so here we go. So to get the Kaltura to start recording, you hit the red play button. It gives you a countdown. Then you can start recording this full screen. Now, down here is the start-stop button for Kaltura, right? If you hit the red button here, it pauses. If you hit the white button here, it stops altogether. Okay, so we're just going to go on for a couple of slides here, talk about accounting briefly. Okay, so here's our transaction journal, and we need to turn this into financial statements. And so, I would talk about this the same way that I would talk in front of the class. using my mouse to highlight the areas where I'm referring to when I'm speaking, just kind of like you would in a normal lecture. Okay, so now that's enough talking about accounting. So I'm going to hit stop altogether at this white button down here. Stop the recording and say, yep, I definitely want to stop it. And I now exit out of PowerPoint so that you can see all the stuff that's going on with Kaltura. Okay. All right, get that thing out of there. Now, so here's what happens when you end a Kaltura recording. You get this little black screen here, and the first thing you kind of want to do is check and make sure that you don't sound like a complete idiot. So you just maybe play it for a minute and see if it works at all. Sometimes you forget to turn the audio on, for instance. It's been known to happen. And you can start recording this full screen. Now, down here is the start-stop button. All right, so it seems to have worked the way that I thought it was going to. And so I'm going to go ahead and save this thing and use it up into my system. First thing you want to do is give it a name that means something. So we'll say example recording full screen. And then, you can put as much detail as you want. I generally don't. I probably should, but I don't put much else in there except for the title. And then you hit save and upload. And so it starts uploading, and it takes some time to upload. Even though this was only 1 minute, it's going to take close to a minute to upload on my, internet connection. And I'm going to have you sort of hang out here while this is happening, because I want to, in quick succession, show you some things that happen. So let's say that we get really impatient and we want to see this thing up in Canvas right away, right? So now we're pretty much uploaded. Drum roll. Okay, there it is. It's 100% uploaded. So now I would love to see this. You see, it was successfully uploaded to my media. And so what you can do is, again, open up Canvas and look for it, right? This is exciting. It's our first recording. Let's go into my media and look for the file. All right, and so there it is. But you'll notice that even though it's uploaded and showing, and by the way, it doesn't always show right away. This is the second time I've recorded this piece, and the first time I went to go do this exact sort of bit of it, and I went to look and see whether, show you how to look to see whether Canvas was uploaded, and it actually hadn't uploaded yet. But this time it is uploaded, but you notice it's not fully processed, right? So it's going to take a while with these gears turning. Okay, so don't get startled if you see that. It will show up, and so we'll come back here in a bit and show you what it looks like when they are complete. So right now I'm going to pause my screencast, and I'm going to show you a couple of other use cases in Kaltura when I get back. Okay, I am back after a brief break to set up the next use case example. And so you don't have to go through the process of going back into Canvas to make a new video. You could just hit new recording here on this same screen, or if you wanted to, you could invoke the program by itself. But since it's open here, we're going to hit new recording, and we're going to see the same up. And this time I'm going to select an area of the screen. And so, of course, that doesn't make sense unless we have something up to select. And so what I've got here is a 2-sheet Excel spreadsheet. And I'm going to select this half over here. Right, so this is what I want my students to see. And over on this side, I've got sort of my cheat sheet example of what I think this thing is going to look like at the end of the day. And this is a simple break-even analysis where I'm going to show them how to use a little Excel trick called goal seek. So what you do to do a partial screen recording is you select the size of the screen that you want, confirm here, and then this nice little menu pops out into the front of your viewfinder, which is nice. And so again, just like before, we can go ahead and just make this little recording. So this is a special bonus for Keene State professors. You're going to get to learn how to do break-even analysis without doing algebra. All right, so here we go. Okay, so here's how you set up a break-even problem in Excel using a nifty little Excel trick called goal seek. So we are going to set up our situation. We've got a price of $10 and a variable cost of $6, variable cot. And then we've got fixed costs of $5,000. And we have a volume, but we don't know what that's going to be yet. Let's just give it a number, any number, just to get us started. So we'll say 1. So we're selling one $10 item, and we've got fixed cost of $5,000. What's our profit going to be? Well, our profit is a calculation. So it's price times the volume minus variable cost times the volume minus fixed cost. So our profit is going to be negative 4,996. And so we want to calculate the break even, which is the point at which our profit is 0. So rather than doing a little algebraic manipulation on pencil and paper, it is much easier to do it in Excel using an Excel function called goal seek, which you find in the data tab. And then you go in the data tab and you look for what if analysis. You find goal seek. And then what we want to do is we want to set the value in this cell where profit is, which is B7. We want to set it to 0 by changing the volume. We hit OK. It starts calculating and it comes up with a volume of 1,250 units that we need to sell in order to cover our fixed costs. Okay, so that is our little our little lecture on break-even, our demonstration on break-even with Excel, I guess. And I'm going to hit stop here now, and we can finish that recording. Okay. And again, I just want to play just a couple of minutes of it, or a couple seconds of it, to verify that that I didn't forget to put the audio on. So let's just hit play. Here is how you set up a break-even problem in Excel using a nifty little Excel trick called goal seek. So we are going to set up our situation. We've got a price of $10 and a variable cost. Okay, so that sounds fine. So again, we want to save it with a decent name. So demo 2 partial screen, and we'll save and upload this. And I'm going to go straight to the next new recording use case after this, right? So we'll just hit save and upload, and then I'm going to, while this thing is uploading, I'm going to pause my screencast and set up my next demonstration of partial screen recording for you. Okay. Okay, I'm back again, and I've got another sort of partial screen use case to share with you. The first thing I want to do is get this Kaltura menu off of my screen so that I can show you what I'm up to. All right, this is Excel. Everything I do is in Excel. I use Excel when Word would probably be better. But that's just kind of how I live. And so we have got over here a spreadsheet that I used to generate a PDF for a problem set for the students. So when they look at it, it just looks like a piece of paper, right? And so this is what they see. I'm going to put those back in so I can see what I'm doing. Now over here I have a blank sheet, and what I want to try to figure out how to do is replicate with nice, neat, straight lines, which is very unlike how I actually write on the whiteboard. But what I want to do over here is replicate a whiteboard. And so I'm going to make the first column really narrow and the second column really wide. And then I'm going to make all the rows really tall. So now I've got basically what almost looks like lined paper. Now what I'm going to do is make my font really big. So let's make it maybe, I don't know, 28 or so. And then I could even, if I'm feeling kind of lighthearted, I could find a font that actually looks maybe a little bit more like something relaxed and handwritten. So we can go like that. And so now, let's just take a look and see how it looks. Okay, yep, so that font looks fine. Then what you do in Excel to make it look like a whiteboard is you would go to the View heading, and then you see in this little area here, you have a choice to either show or not show the grid lines. The grid lines are the ones on the inside, and the headings, which are the column A and column B. And so at this point now, and I'm going to get rid of the headings over here, at this point now, except for this menu up here at the top, it almost looks like two pieces of paper, right? And so what I can do now is use a partial screen recording, but only select the area with both of these spreadsheets that looks like paper. So let's take a look-see and see how that looks. So if I go bring Kaltura back here, we'll try new recording. So we're going to select the area, and we're going to select now both of these pages, because what we want to do over here on the right hand side is we want to basically solve out these problems as if we were in front of a class, right? So we're going to select this whole thing. We're going to confirm that. And then once again, we are going to start the recording. Well, first I'll get rid of this silly thing up here. Okay, so we're going to start the recording, and I'm going to pretend to solve out one of these problems, okay? Tonight, and we just want to go through how to actually do these computations, remembering that the point of this is to remember that assets have to equal liabilities and equity. Okay, and so over here in column A, right, we've got a couple of asset accounts, our cash and our equipment, and then our our liability would be our accounts payable, and our equity is made up of common stock and retained earnings, and we have to calculate for retained earnings. Now, you guys get the idea, right? So I don't need to take you through the process of solving for one unknown, but that's how you could maybe get something that looks like a whiteboard that that is just from our regular Microsoft Office products. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording now. Right, and you can't see, and I'll show you the full-size videos when we get to the next recording that I'm doing. But again, just verifying that I didn't forget the sound. And we just want to go through how to actually do these computations, remembering that the point of this is to... All right, so it sounds okay. And again, we want to give it a title. We'll call it Demo 3. And we will save and upload. So I'm going to call an end to this video. And then the next thing I need to take you through is how to get them someplace where the students can see them. And I'll also show you what they actually look like from a student's perspective. So that's what's coming up next, and I will be back with a new video shortly.